I'm in the sphere of irrelevance.
This is Tall Can Audio.
What's happening, everybody? We kick off another week of the Tall Can Audio podcast, coming to you from our studio in beautiful Bytown, Canada. On social media, at Tall Can Audio. Give us a follow there. Make sure you're subscribed to the pod, wherever you're hearing us right now. You know the deal. The same spiel I've dropped like 600 times now. My name's Matt Robinson. Rob Christie across the table. What's happening today, man?
Same old on a beautiful, smoky...
Yeah, the smoke has returned.
For sure, man. I smell like campfire first thing this morning. But I am in fine form today, Matt. Fine form.
Okay.
I'm feeling...
Glad one of us.
Ebullient, I think is the word I would go to. Effervescent,
I appreciate
maybe.
you using that one, yeah.
You know I go in for that.
Yep.
Right? So, yeah, all's good, man. All's good over here.
I'm playing hurt, but I'm here for you people. I have showed up. There was some talk over the last couple episodes. Would there be a Monday morning show this week? We are here for you.
Oh, you hear that? That sounded like saliva in the mouth. Like maybe there was going to be barf. Like I'm doing that. I better choke that.
I don't know what's happening. I better pump the brakes here for a second. Yeah.
Take a knee.
Yeah. So welcome inside episode 1134 of Tall Can Audio. Rob has gotten tired of waiting for me to ask him. Man, we're off to quite a start here. What he's drinking, and so he's gone ahead and cracked it and poured it. What do you got going on, man?
So because I've poured it, that we're going in the stout direction.
Mm-hmm.
So good listener to the show, LSG, loser of second consecutive Stanley Cup final bet.
Okay.
Has provided the winner of the bet with beverages.
Nice. Okay.
So both beers I have today will be courtesy of LSG. Thank you. I am so much smarter than you. But now
you're sitting here with me. He's down at AEW Forbidden Door at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto.
I am so much smarter than you.
He may be the smart one here, man. Yeah.
No, he's gone to see the Kikuchi-led Jays, presumably to a wrong.
Yeah, we did this last week.
Yeah.
They're cruising, and then they lost.
Yeah, I'm feeling like 9-1 in the 8th.
Against Oakland, you'd like to think.
Probably have
Save this take, folks. You're hearing it Monday morning. You'll know if it's blown up in our faces again.
So he's got a little buddies trip, and then, so yes, he's down there catching the Jays game, and then your forbidden back door.
What an asshole. It is forbidden.
Yeah, well, and I think after the early morning and early afternoon you've had, nobody wants any part of that, so...
Nobody.
No
one.
What am I drinking?
Yes.
I think that was the question.
It was several minutes ago.
He has provided me with something called the Peppermint Patty, which is a...
From where? I think I've had this one, perhaps.
Wellington.
Yeah, I think I've had that.
So this is the chocolate mint milk stout.
Yeah, love that.
Okay. So I've just poured it.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in at 6.5. It's probably a little more than I'd like, while not going as hard as you last night. I did myself okay. I did myself proud. So I'm going to have a poll on this, let you know how it goes. What do you have over there? Something light or
yes.
A Radler maybe?
This is just a little Nita. I want to shout them out. We'll talk a bit more about that in a second, but... This is just the Hans and Die Hosen, straight up lager, right? It's a hot summer day. You're not looking for anything crazy. Like you said, Saturday was a little rough. At least Sunday morning was a little rough. And so this is what was calling out for me today. And I've always enjoyed this one, man. It's a nice lager with some flavor to it, right? Instead of being just sort of a dull sort of, I don't know, lager, right? I enjoy it quite a bit. So, shout out to the Nita Beer Company.
And that's the one Andy always has the photo of his son was playing Sting, Daniel Alfredson's son was playing Sting, and Andy's always got the photo of Alfie sitting across the table from him at a tournament.
Drinking one of his beers.
And drinking the Hans and the Hosen.
Yep.
So that's not only...
Asked Andy to tell that story to a couple people yesterday. And he was happy to do so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here it is again, fresh on the show again.
Because I had butchered it when Mendez was on here a couple months ago now. And I had said to Ian, as he was having, I think, one in Adidas beers or whatever, that it was Alfie's father's name is Hans, and that's why they got onto this conversation. And Andy said to Alfie, would you take a picture with whatever? And Ian goes, that's a great story, but Alfie's father's name is not Hans. I went, getting smacked down here on my own show, and so I had to have the story clarified for me as much as for the benefit of anyone else. But I guess Alfie's real name,
middle name,
other name, is Hans, and so that's where it came from. It was not, in fact, Alfie's father.
Yeah, I can't remember what his dad's name is, but that is actually what I thought it was
Mendez
as well.
Knew. You're no Ian Mendez, Rob.
100%.
You are.
That is very true. Very true. He's saintly, and I am not.
Yeah, it's true. Brings a little ray of sunshine, I think
he does.
said last time.
So I'm getting chocolate from this. Mm-hmm. It's creamy, which you like to see in a milk stout.
Yeah.
So far, I'm not getting a pile of mint, which is not a bad thing.
You got to have some. You know me, man.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting, and it's nice and cold, right? So I'm going to give it a bit and see if I can get a little mint. Usually that'll come sort of further towards the back. Usually you can get a nice bouquet of whatever it is, right, in the nose, a nose full of it, but I'm not getting anything right at this moment. So we'll see as it warms up, but it is creamy and it is chocolatey.
Right.
So you know what? If that's all I get from this, I'll be quite happy with that, to be honest with you. I do like mint. I do like an After Eight or a York peppermint patty like this is here, right? I do go for a little bit of that mint and chocolate, but this is not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. We'll see how it fares out. But
your brother came, was with us there yesterday as we were
he
celebrating over at Nita, and he was looking for a chocolate stout. I guess he has been for a while. He texted me at one point. I gave him a rather unsatisfactory answer, so he came to you. And I guess you didn't give him a name either.
This is what I'm going to shoot towards him here now.
Okay, there you go. And he was looking for a chocolate stout to pair with a certain type of cigar.
What a douchebag.
Very high maintenance guy or whatever.
Yeah, old farts and fresh cigars.
So, he was disappointed anyway that Andy didn't at the time have a chocolate stout going. He had a good stout. He's got the Perfectum there, which is a long stand. It disappeared for a while, I think, from their lineup, but it's back now. And that was one of the first beers you and I ever tried out of that brewery was the Perfectum.
And it certainly didn't stop Jeff from drinking.
Piling them back.
Yeah, 7 or 8 of those in the 45 minutes he was there. All right, maybe it was closer to 4 hours. He was enjoying himself, stationed down at the end of the table.
Sure, holding court.
Holding court with whoever came by.
Yeah, anybody who sat down, I got things to tell you. So.
Yeah. Well, and he's open for that.
It was good to see him. It was good to see a lot of people, man. We sort of had been talking a bit about it over the last couple of weeks that I was running into that wall they call 40, and we were going to celebrate. We did that at the Nita Beer Company on Saturday afternoon, a couple hours over there with the ball game on, and some, I would say, stellar tunes, obviously, and some very good beers. Really nice time. I know he listens from time to time. Do want to say thank you to Andy Nita for hooking us up with the space to do it. And at the end of the night, a free round for everybody who was interested in having one more and who really isn't on a Saturday. When someone says, "Can I get you a free beer?" and you're sitting in a brewery, you probably have a captive audience that is interested in said free beer.
Yeah, and I spoke to Andy a couple times, really, I guess, on Saturday, and I was telling him just how much. To me, since they've opened up, since I first had them, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. It's hard to.
2016, I have in my head.
Okay, so just how sort of arrow up his beers have and everything really, right? To me, in terms of the work that he's doing over there.
Yeah,
and I think it's only fair, right? Everybody, I said it with Evergreen the other day, right? To me, I wasn't loving Evergreen stuff originally. Mm-hmm. They do great stuff now, right? And you got to kind of give, you're
figuring it out, right?
Right. And so, to me, I always liked the Perfectum was always good, but to me, there's now we're sort of putting a little bit of a catalog together of stuff that I can really go in for over there. I was personally enjoying the Ginger of Sussex.
Yeah,
it's a gingered amber, and it's it's got a really fresh ginger root flavor to it. It's not like a ginger snap cookie, right? It's more. It's actually like fresh ginger in it, and
Right.
it comes through strongly in it. So to me, it's a great summer beer, and so. There's a bunch of things. The 10-12 was nice to go to after I hit a couple of sort of more exotic things.
Yep.
Then you hit the 10-12, and it's just a nice, easy drinking.
Coast through the rest of your evening.
100%.
Yep.
If you're going to put down 6, 7, 8 pints you want to have something that's easy drinking. So it was, it was a good moment there. Everyone's showing up, everyone loving Matt. Lots of people touching Matt, which I'm sure was freaking him out.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, because it was. He's got a nice little spot there, but it's little.
Well, one of the things, you talk about the beer, the space is the same way. Like the first time you went in there, it was just like a cement floor and 2 picnic tables and a couple of board games. Now he's got a nice sound system in there. He's got the big the projection TV in there, a bunch of nice tables around the outside. He's got the pizza oven going.
I had the pizza. Pizza was pretty good.
Yeah. And he had something new for me, man. When I was obviously first to arrive, as I often am to a brewery, walked in there with a couple of the early arrivers, and he said, "I got something for you." He said, "We just finished this just in time," because he knows I'm a fan, and so he's pouring out basically like the flight-sized glasses, the sample glasses, and letting the 4 or 5 of us who were there early try this. It was brand new. He said, "Give that a sniff before you try." It was a brand new coconut beer, man, and I'm all about his Mr. Brown Has Gone Coconuts, which is a brown ale, and this one though, a coconut blonde and authentic. There's like pulp in it.
There was coconut pulp in it.
Yeah, it's like a
sure.
pulpy orange juice. Still had some chunks to it. Which
not a pile. Everybody who was out there
was
was like, "Oh my god, that's disgusting."
No. There was just a little remnants, right?
Yeah,
It was
for sure.
And so he had doled out some of that, and that's basically what I spent my night on. Right, it was just keeping those in front of me, and he sent me home with 6 more at the end of the night. So, as you said, man, awesome to have so many people show up. Awesome of him to grant us the space. I said to him beforehand, like, would you, let me give you some money for your time or for the space or whatever. He said, just bring beer drinkers. I said, that part is not a problem.
Spades,
right?
spades.
We can take care of that. So it was an awesome time. Was glad everybody came up. Like it's a little weird for me in the sense that like I'm trying to mingle, right? You're trying to get down and talk to everybody. So you feel a little bad at the end of the night. Like, did I spend enough time with that person or that person? Everybody's sort of come at your request, at my invitation, right? And so you're trying to spend enough time. I'm not sure I accomplished that completely, but I had a blast, man. It could not have gone, in my opinion, that's all I would have wanted. No cake, no gifts, no toasts. Let's just come have a beer with me, right? Like that's all I wanted of that. So
yeah, there was no toasts.
I'm good with that, man.
What makes Matt's skin crawl?
A little bit.
You say it's your birthday. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's my birthday too. Yeah. No, it actually not too long.
No,
we're tight. We're very close to 2 birthdays, but mine was before that. But yeah. And so to me, also Andy, I had a pineapple sour. Mm-hmm. So I ran through some of the more palate sort of challenging stuff up front, right?
Sure,
the ginger followed by the coconut, which tastes very similar. The coconut, it comes through.
It's strong.
It gives you a bit of that Hawaiian tropic or whatever the hell that sunscreen is, right? Where you're like, hey, this tastes like that smells.
He tells me he hears that too often. He doesn't love the comparison to sunscreen.
Yeah, I know. But it is the thing that everyone goes... Yeah, and it's one of those things where you go, and they're like, how do you know what sunscreen tastes like? And you're like, get fucked, buddy. You know what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying here, right? I've never tasted it, but to me, Andy's sour, the pineapple sour was great. And I think it goes back to one of his first one, the Pineapple Express.
Yep.
The time he was in studio and he was saying, yeah, next time we're in studio together, he's like, I'm gonna bring some beers and we're gonna get after it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like that never happens, right? And he's like, well, someone's got to show you guys how to drink. And I'm like, well, everybody needs every race needs a pace car, right? And Andy's that guy, right? So
yeah, you don't want to try and keep up with that pace car. Like he shows up and that's That's what he does for work.
He's a professional.
Yeah,
He's
exactly,
a professional, right? The rest of us just sort of dabble in
Right,
it and hang out in his wake. Although there's a couple people I would, throw Jeff in there, throw my Uncle John in there. There's a couple people just sort of go, Psh, all right, get over there.
Have at her.
Yeah, and I'll just sort of, coast in the
Cut
wake.
my own pace.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere back here in the wake, right? And I am.
Yeah, you can hold your own.
Yeah, I'm proficient, but I don't pretend to be.
Well, I said to you in the green room, like I went into that going, be careful, right? Like I did not.
Danger, Matt Robinson.
I did not want to be shit-faced at my own 40th birthday party.
And by shit-faced, he means shit in his pants.
I really didn't want shit anywhere to be part of this. But, I said it to you off air, and it comes off as a little cheesy, but I wanted to remember the day, right?
Yeah.
And so when people are coming to help you celebrate your birthday at a brewery, the natural reaction, people come up to you and say, can I get you a beer, right?
Yeah.
And you're having to often go, nope, not yet, right?
Yeah, good.
Like you're sort of milking them, right? You're kind of taking your time. And I think for the most part, I was fairly successful at that. There was a moment or two where I said yes to somebody and I looked and I still had half in front of me. You're like, nope, don't do it, right? Do not allow this to get away from you where you're going to crush that one and the pace is now shattered. Right?
You'll be shitting in the urinal in no time when you...
Which was going to be rough because he doesn't even have a urinal over there. So who knows where I am when that's happening.
Yeah, it's... and it is one of those things. Like I said, I came by you a couple times and you're like, no, I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good. And there was some people who showed up, like by the time Jeff and I showed up, I think we made the number about 8 or 9 early, right? Like early. But everyone sort of had 1 beer or 2 beer. And then it starts to be like,
you get a couple under your hat.
I'm sort of going, and it's just like we're here.
More people keep showing up,
and it's a brewery.
Yeah.
and I'm running a tab. It's almost like it's
they just keep landing in front of me,
and you just keep going, and so everyone's the same, right? Not only are they buying you beer, they're like, hey, let's grab a round. Let's do this. Hey, what do you need a beer? You need a beer? I'm going. And so
my cousin did that earlier on. Like a bunch of people, like you said, would go up. Who needs one, right? Like and so I did have Andy say to me that we made it worth his while, right? We brought enough beer drinkers. We drank enough beer. Isaac, who was running the show for us over, because Andy was hanging out as much as anything else.
Yeah, and he was out on the patio. He was sort of kicking around, right? Yep.
So Isaac was awesome to us anyway. If highly recommend, as always, the Need a Beer Company and their stuff. Say hi to Andy when you step in. He'll talk your ear off as long as you got. So
yeah, and as you were talking about, I had no such. Now I didn't put in the post show.
Yeah, back here.
The post-party pints afterwards. But I had said, got dropped off at the beginning, 4:00 when the invitation said,
sure,
it'll be from this time. And so I said to the better half, just you want to swing by, just come closer to the end, right?
Yeah.
You grab a pint. You don't have to sit through all the inane bullshit that a sausage party like that will.
The invitation said, bad music, the baseball game, and beer. There wasn't a ton of women in attendance at the at Matt's birthday party.
But by the end, there was
there were a few.
Yeah, there were a few.
Many related to me.
Yeah, and me.
Yeah.
And so between that, I thought if I can just keep it to 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Right.
I stand here in a brewery.
Yeah, doubled that in the time. And as you said, right at the end, Andy's like, "Hey, we got to shut her down," but I'm buying around.
Yeah.
And so by that time, people are just sort of grabbing shit out of the fridge and handing it over. Sorry about that, Andy, if you're listening. It wasn't me.
No.
Peter.
Couldn't be.
That's it.
No.
Anyways, good times.
Yes.
Good venue.
100%.
Good guy. So if you're looking for something good, something different, if you haven't gone over to see Andy, do it.
190 Colonnade Road or needabeer.com. Check it out. I said to you before we started, what the fuck are we going to talk about today? Because I've been pretty out of the loop the last couple of days. Haven't watched a whole lot. I've scanned Twitter a couple times when I woke up on Sunday morning, the second time, and scrolled through Twitter. I was like, well, some shit's gone on here. But We're leaving the topics list to you this week, man, because I don't have a ton on my mind right now.
Well, we've been hearing about since the Cup
Mine's
final, right?
swollen a little at the moment.
I get it, and it is one of those. Hey, we don't have a show planned.
No.
We're just okay. Well, we're just going to show up, fire up the mic,
See what happens.
But it really comes down to we've been hearing about all this talk that there's going to be trades, there's going to be action, right? Every year. Well,
leading up to this is going to be the craziest draft, and there's so much.
Yeah.
Usually it doesn't pay off.
Well, and the fact that it's essentially a flat cap, I know it's going up $1 million, but that there are teams who need to make shit happen, right? In terms of, I forgot last week on the show, just before we got on the mic, I was flipping through my phone and I look and say, Dallas signs Matt Murray.
I got very excited about that.
What? I'm like,
just a moment.
I never heard. I know the buyout window was open, but I'm like, and then it says Matt Murray. Murray played 4 games for the Stars last year, and I'm like,
oh,
what? Doesn't equate. So who knew that there'd be 2 Matt Murrays?
I want that one. I don't know anything about him, but I'll trade
Falk.
straight up Matt Murray. You're Justin Falk. There's 2 of them too. Yes, that's right.
2 Sebastian Ahos. I want the good one. Can I have the good one? The good Justin Falk, the good Matt Murray, and the good Sebastian Aho. What are the chances? But yeah, that there would be movement. That there'd be movement and teams needing to sort of move and shake. And we talked about last week, Daniel Briere saying, I'm open for business.
Yeah, GM of the Flyers.
Yeah, but you're that place that's like this little, turn of the 20th century general store, and you got 2 cans of Puritan stew that have dust on them and shit. Like nobody, Daniel, you're open for business, brother, but I'm not sure anybody's really interested in what you're selling, right? Unless you're, like I said, that tin of stew that's 5 years past its best before. But can I interest you in a Kevin Hayes?
You cannot.
Can I interest you in a Tony Angelo?
You cannot, but apparently you can interest other teams in these things.
Yeah. The beauty of this is, and a couple of these trades that he's been willing to step boldly up, between, I think, Carolina and St. Louis are the 2 sort of...
Yeah. As we sit here right now, those are in flux. Apparently both of them. They're looking like they'll get done. One would be D'Angelo to Carolina, and then Kevin Hayes to St. Louis. Apparently there is a defenseman coming back from St. Louis that has said no, that has a no trade clause. Friedman said he believes that's Torrey Krug, and so they're working on it. We don't know by the time you hear this whether those trades have both happened or both completely fallen apart, but Philly is trying to pawn off some parts. And
it was the flipping of D'Angelo back to Carolina,
with Philly holding
50%.
Yeah, something like that. And it's funny because like Carolina traded him to Philadelphia, got some pieces. Now they're trading him back with retention, and I don't know, like, to me, this is a masterstroke for Carolina. I think Tony D'Angelo is a douchebag, but I think he can play.
Well, not if you look at his numbers.
No, but
this year in Philly.
No, but that was a pretty bad team.
Although interesting to note that D'Angelo had, more points. He was a bit more of the go-to than Provorov was in that. Now, what you need to know is...
He wore the rainbow jersey.
Yeah, which...
When you're the biggest douchebag on a team with Tony D'Angelo on it... Sorry, Provorov, you're off to Columbus, buddy.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing.
And we can get into that, too.
We'll touch back on it. I completely slipped my mind.
I had forgotten about it as well. You're right. Yeah.
And so, but like they're talking about his Tony D'Angelo's minus 15.1 sort of defensive goals above replacement, worst in the NHL. Whereas they were so ecstatic with the work he did, being paired with Jacob Slavin the year before in Carolina, how their possession numbers, their 5-on-5 expected goals were...
That's what Jacob Slavin will do for you.
We're through the roof, right? And then you go, okay, but now we're going to play you with...
Yeah.
Ryan Ellis, who's not playing?
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
no, it's not.
And you're now in a system, and it's funny that D'Angelo, after this great sort of show-me season in Carolina, after being punted... with the Rangers, right? That he sort of signed there at a very team-friendly contract, and then had a great season. put up 50 points. Yeah, that Tortorella scratched him, I think, for the last 5 or 8 games of the regular season, right?
Yeah.
And I love the quote D'Angelo said, I totally respect John Tortorella, but me being scratched is fucking ridiculous. You're like, yeah, you don't say, eh?
No.
So I will be interested. And if I was to ask you, Matt, if you had a preference, Tony D'Angelo or I can't remember his first name, Pesce. But
Brett,
you know who
Brett
I'm talking.
Pesce.
Brett Pesce.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'd take Brett Pesce.
Because they're like, so he's due for a contract a year out.
Yeah.
Right? They can extend him out this July 1st in
Right.
Carolina. And they're saying, if they don't get the feeling, like again, get in line with so many other people, right, that we've talked about over the past couple pods. People saying, I'm not going to extend.
Yeah.
So they're like, D'Angelo was seen as a possible replacement for.
That's a terrible replacement. But
See, and that's what I'm like, that seems like and I get it, right? But you now have Brent Burns, Brett Pesce. But if you have Brent Burns and you have Tony D'Angelo on the same blue line, it seems like a lot of riverboat gambling.
Yeah, a lot of run and gun, right? And
going on there. And I understand they need, but if you don't have Slavin on your offside, who's keeping it cool.
yeah, perhaps the best defensive defenseman in the league, right? Like he's holding something down for somebody, but yeah, you don't have many of them.
But you are, so to me, I think this is when Carolina starts to go, you can't have too much of that. I think if you're looking for guys who have terrible defensive metrics,
Yeah.
right? Like I just think you can only have so much of that going.
Yeah, and Carolina has a system, like you said, that can cover up for one or two of those guys. Not many, right? And now you have, both of them, I think also on the same side, right? Like D'Angelo and Brent Burns. That's it. Like you have no more. And I guess he'll be a third pair guy. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like, but not if they're looking at him to replace Brett Pesce in a year. That's not a third pair spot.
Well, and he's only got a year left at $5 million.
Yeah, and he's getting a raise. And then,
D'Angelo has a year left at $5 million.
And Carolina's paying $2.5 million.
Correct. So it is going to be a matter of you're going to bring him back again now with somebody else covering. Yeah. And it's interesting because they were talking about Philly also flipping. We talked about it with St. Louis. That they were talking about retaining 50% of Kevin Hayes' money as well.
Yep.
That dude is through the 2026 season,
It's a terrible contract.
$7.1 or $7.2 million.
Yeah.
And that Philly would be, like you're talking 23, 24. You're talking fucking 4 more years of sucking up $3.5 million.
I think they know they're going to be bad for a bit.
Yeah, guess what? It's going to get worse, right? If you're now flipping out.
Well, as we alluded to last week, like they're getting ready to burn it down, and we said it's been burning down. It's just now a controlled burn. There's someone there who's aware that that's what you're supposed to do right now is rebuild. They thought they were contending.
It's that smoking mosquito coil thing. That's what they got. That's what they got going on there right now. You're like, what is that? I smell that.
Yeah, and like Kevin Hayes was one of those guys who was always pretty good as a number 2, right? Remember, it didn't work. He
was good as a Ranger.
He was, and they tried to bring him into the Jets like as the new Stastny, right? That as a deadline thing, and it didn't really work.
He was good as a Ranger.
Well,
yes, I know. I understand what you're saying.
So it didn't work in Winnipeg, and for whatever reason, someone still decided during the offseason that year, we're going to pay that guy like a number 1 center. And that was not a very good idea because Kevin Hayes had never been a number 1 center, nor had he shown any inkling that he might become a number 1 center. And yeah, you're now stuck with this big long-term contract at over $7 million, and you're going to choke down half of it for the next 4 years. And if I'm the Blues, I don't mind Kevin Hayes as a number 2 center at 3.75, whatever it's going to be. But that was a terrible contract to hand out.
Yep. And so that is one of those things. And so I don't blame whether it's Krug, whether it's Parayko, whoever it is.
I'm not going there.
You're like, fuck that, man. Why would I want to go when you've now admitted you're willing to pay that guy $3.5 million to go somewhere else?
Yeah.
Because you know you're going to suck. But it had to do with, it was going to be like there was a first in there in the defense. Like, honestly, in terms of, I get it, right?
Sure.
Briere has to be aggressive.
Yep.
And I'll be interested, but he's got to find some dupes.
Well, you'll find those in the NHL front office. No problem. Okay. What did you think of Ryan Johansson from Nashville to Colorado, again with Nashville keeping 50%? And that was another one of those deals that Nashville signed. I don't know if it was the same year as Duchesne, but
year before, I think.
Yeah. $8 million, long term. And again, not ever a classic number one center, right? Like, very good number two, but you're probably in trouble if that's your number one. And so you give that guy $8 million. It's not great. If I'm Colorado, who since Kadri left has been pretty thin up the middle, I don't mind that move for them at $4 million, right? Like, I think Ryan Johansson has a chance to earn that, and it improves their depth.
100%.
I don't mind that at all for Colorado.
Yeah, you slide him into a second line setting there.
Yeah.
Now, was he not originally drafted there? Was
Columbus, wasn't it? I know he was part of the Seth. It was Seth Jones for Ryan Johansson was the trade.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, and I'm thinking of maybe it's O'Reilly.
Ryan O'Reilly was Colorado
guy.
Yeah.
Through Buffalo,
Yeah.
Buffalo to St. Louis,
Yeah.
to Toronto.
Yep. And potentially back to St. Louis by the sounds of it.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure.
Why wouldn't you? But I like that.
Yeah.
In terms of one of those things where if they could get out from underneath Matt Duchesne as well,
Yeah.
maybe if they want to trade UC Saros to Ottawa.
Do you think Nashville is trying to free up space to do something, or just is preparing to rebuild and so wants as much of that money off their books as possible?
Well, and it really comes down to, you do have a young Saros. You do have, like, is Roman Josi, is he even 30 yet?
I don't know how. Yeah.
Like, to me, he's got
game.
He's got a lot of games still out in front of him, right?
Yeah.
And so, but you did get rid of Ekholm. You now have got rid of Johansson, and now that is a contract that they're happy to get out from underneath.
Yep.
The Ekholm one, I think you would like to have ideally kept him.
Yep.
If it, if you had your druthers, but no, I think they are on the retool
Right.
side of
They're looking to
rebuild,
stay in
but they
this
are.
and-
I think it is sort of on the fly. While you do have, I think people who think that Saros is going to get traded away would be, I don't care if you have Askarov in the wings, who may have had a good season in the AHL last year, but seems like when you have one of the guys who is deemed to be the most athletic.
Yeah, Saros is one of those guys that you'd think about putting in that top group with your Shesterkins and Sorokins and Vasilev, well, the Russians, I guess, the top 5-7 goalies in the league. Saros might be part of that group. Your
Aiden Hills and the like.
Sure, I'm not trading him on a hope that Askarov might be good. He's going to have to come in and show you that first.
Right. He's the guy who you bring in as a backup and go let him sort of get his wings.
30 games or whatever.
And they go, yeah, you know what? If he's shown that he can be, a starter in the NHL, then guess what? We have ourselves a delicious dilemma.
Yeah. You trade Saros when it's time to pay that guy and now
pay that man his money. Yeah. And so I think they are looking for a sort of a quicker fix.
Yeah, you framed a retool more than a rebuild.
Right.
Because I don't get back in this.
I don't think they, with what they do have, but as soon as you start, you know what, if they're going to retain half of Ryan Johansson,
yeah,
that's fine, right? You can't have too many of those, right?
No.
You can't start now going...
Unless you're Philly and you're about to rebuild. At that point, whatever gets us some picks.
Right, but I meant Nashville.
Yeah.
If Nashville is going to be that team, you can't...
You can't be holding money all over the place.
Exactly. You can't be now flipping out Duchesne for something else.
I think you can actually, by league rules, I think you can only hold 3. I think I remember reading that about Arizona, that like you can only retain on 3 contracts at a time.
Okay.
So they do limit you,
but again, Arizona is one of those teams where you're like, Chicago, Philly, whatever that is, when you're like, yeah, we are in this sort of bit of a messy spoil right now, right? In terms of what is going to come, right? It's still just goo.
Yeah.
We're not really sure what we're going to get out of this. But if you're Nashville and you are looking to retool, which is dangerous, right? Like you look at the Rangers, they lucked into the 2 draft wins,
Kakko.
right? Lafreniere.
Yeah.
Then they had Panarin as a free agent. Then they had Fox sort of
Shesterkin fall in their lap.
work his way into, I want to be a Ranger, really
Yep.
is what I want, And so that was fortuitous. But, man, beyond that, to sort of reshuffle, retool, it's hard. It's hard to do it, and I don't know if we have a pile of, I can't think of it, if you can think of one off the top of your head, of successful retools. Because it seems like it's super hard to sort of...
Washington did it a little bit. Remember, they kind of went away from like your Simmons and went to TJ Oshie. I'm trying to remember who they traded away to get Oshie out of St. Louis, but that was sort of adjusting what their core was a little bit.
Okay.
I don't have it. You're right. There are not a ton of
And
times.
I'm not here to crap on your one thing that I haven't come up with. But you talk about any of those teams, right? You talk about San Jose for most of the 21st century. You talk about Washington, right?
The Blues too. Yeah.
Anybody who is going to be willing, and if you look at what's going to happen with Toronto, they're going to have to do the same sort of to continue to be relevant as things move forward, right? You go, I got to make tweaks. I got to make tweaks. I got to sort of, this needs to be freshened up. I need to move some of the furniture around, right? You just sort of have to. Those are top end teams, though, right? Teams that are sort of, and I'm throwing Toronto in this. You're sort of third round, your conference final teams with lots of talent, and who haven't made it. Whereas Nashville is in a spot where you're like,
see, I don't love what they have.
That's what I'm saying, right? They are not like that sort of capital
$4
team
million
that finally paid off.
Ryan Johansson replacement away from being a contender.
Exactly. We're retaining now one, half a contract on that guy, half a contract on that guy, right? Whether it be Duchesne or whatever. And you've started to see the attrition of guys like, Yarncrow or Arvidsson, right? You start to leach away some of that good support cast as it goes. Ekholm gone now, right? You just Ryan Ellis, right? You just, as it starts to go, right? You're like, man, we had this team that went to the Cup final in 2017 or whatever it was. And it's a bit of a shadow of that. And so it isn't like your OV-led teams and your Joe Thornton San Jose Sharks or your Matthews-led Leafs and whatnot. And it's sort of, this team is a couple of notches below some of those teams.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not shitting on you. It is one of those things where top teams that need to sort of freshen versus teams that have sort of gone wonk.
Yeah. A staunchly middle of the pack team. Like, if you're lucky, they finish kind of 6-7 in the conference.
Calgary Flames for years, Philadelphia Flyers for years, right? Guys that go, but we're just there. Yeah, you're just there. That's
Next year you might be 9th. Next year you might be 10th.
7th.
Yeah.
Right? You go, you were forever in this sort of...
And you might get lucky and get on a bit of a heater with your goalie and take a run, but more likely you're out in 5 in round 1, and that's the end of your...
I'm in the sphere of irrelevance.
I like it.
Yeah, well, that's kind of that's kind of how it works, right? But so I'll be interested with the draft coming up on Wednesday. So by the time
weird, right?
Good listeners are taking this in 2 days, man.
Yeah.
2 days
Wednesday draft.
To draft, and I'm good with it. I'm going to watch, whatever. And what is your interest, man? I don't know where the Leafs they don't have a pick, do they?
Yeah,
they
28th or whatever it is in the Sandin trade, 27, 28. It was the
Washington. No, it's Boston
that Washington had. So
27 or 28. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. The interesting story there is apparently that the Leafs are still trying to convince Calgary to let Brad Treliving be part of it, but who really cares? Like, is anyone naive enough to think he's not in the meetings? Is it just, he's not on the floor? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
In terms of my interest,
those crazy cell phone things.
I'll watch the first 3 or 4, 5. I'll turn it on at the beginning, watch Connor Bedard go, see if there's any. I have a trade to announce, right, coming out.
I think you're going to want to hear this.
Exactly. So, we'll see whether or not anything like that is going on. But I do find myself often enough getting pretty bored, like, of the draft by 9, 10, 11. And it's taken an hour to do that much, right? Like, this is always a bit much. I don't really care about the interviews, right? They bring the kid up and someone talks to him. And frankly, Sportsnet doesn't do as nice of a job presenting the draft as TSN did. Listening to what Bob McKenzie and Craig Button and whatever talking about those guys, to me, is more interesting than Sam Cosentino or, Elliot Friedman. God love him. He's a great insider. Do I think he knows anything about the second line left winger from the Kamloops Blazers? No, I don't. So I'm not that interested in his insight on it, right? So I'll check it out.
Yeah, Cosentino is kind of that guy for them, right?
He is,
He
yeah.
did the CHL games of the week forever, right?
Jeff Merrick knows some junior hockey. Like, they do okay. But to me, TSN was always the better presenter of the draft. So I'll watch Bedard go. I'll watch to see if there's any trades. But, yeah, otherwise, not super interested.
Interesting to, just in a side note, I was sort of kicking around the other night with the NBA draft on. I don't care. I didn't care about
Seems more fun, though.
Brady Dick.
Dick.
It's a sad name, but
Attendance today's Blue Jays game.
to notice that Sportsnet and TSN were both carrying NBA draft coverage. I thought that's weird, man.
A little bit.
Because
They split coverage of the Raps, so maybe they just don't care enough about it to fight over it. That is odd.
Well, and it leaves those of us who don't care about the NBA
One
going,
less channel to watch.
hey, man, I got shit. I got nothing to watch, right? I think the Jays were either off that day or they had an afternoon game, and so I'm like,
There's a little wrestling on most nights, man. You could have flipped to that.
especially if it was a Wednesday night,
Yeah,
right?
a little dynamite.
But I don't.
Dynamite.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about the NBA. There's just a pile of shit I don't care about.
Right.
Like, psh,
It's on my channel.
beat it. Yeah, well, then I started, I have 4 things, right? 27, 30, 26, so CBC News World.
Yeah.
And then I flip it up to 95, Food Network. Right?
Okay.
And then after that,
I'll occasionally drop in on the Comedy Network, see what's on.
if I'm not happy with any of those things,
Yeah.
I got about 80 Jeopardies on PVR. Then I'll just flip over and run through maybe 3 of those, no commercials, right? Just bang, bang,
This is
bang,
what I got
bang,
to look
bang.
forward to when I hit 50.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. For sure you do. But this is, it's important to keep the mind moist.
Okay. I was more CBC News World and the Food Network or my flashback channels or whatever.
Oh, but see, I'm a big Beat Bobby Flay guy. I love little diners, drive-ins, and dives. It just, some of these sorts of things. I enjoy the cooking shows, but
Yeah.
I like to cook, right?
Yeah.
That is a...
Yeah, that's where we part.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know,
want to watch it because I don't want to do it.
I know. I think you got some stag chili in your.
I do.
One of your gifts there.
Yeah.
Hey, I would suggest a fresh baguette and a little parm grated on top.
Okay.
Heat that bad boy up.
You
Have
buy
a go.
that pre-graded, I think.
Have a go at. Not the stuff, the green craft shit in the container already. No, you gotta grate up your own parm.
Seems like a lot of work.
But I used to, when I was going to Carleton, rooming with my buddy and do up a shit ton of pasta, elbow, like macaroni, fire in a couple of tins of stag chili on top of it, and you're just like, psh, there you go. Casserole, man, right there.
Okay.
Good to go, right? So it's a step up from just the brown beans.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways.
All right.
Anyways.
You learned that on Dives?
Yeah, I learned that on Food Network. Right? No, and actually what I'm suggesting for you maybe is a hobo baguette.
For my hobo chili.
A hobo sandwich, exactly, right? You heat that up, you hollow out the maybe a French loaf.
Okay.
Just hollow it out and
Yeah.
fill it with the stag chili, man.
All right.
And eat that like you were sitting on the side of a train track.
Where I might be.
In the Depression era, Matt Robinson just
Got my
got his hobo bindle over his shoulder.
I didn't have bindle. I was a stick and bag
Yeah,
over my
that's
shoulder.
called a
Yeah.
bindle, my man. That's what that is. Watch more Jeopardy, man. You'll know this shit.
I actually like Jeopardy.
Yeah, I love Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And so anyways, it is
What is a bindle?
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. A hobo would have this on the end of a stick. What is a bindle? Yes, that's got to be a $200
Fortunately,
or
we've never had a
$400
hobo
question.
on the program, so
I don't know, man. You see some interesting things.
they've let it go to hell with Alex gone.
Yeah, but it now is live.
What's her
from,
name?
Mayim
Bialik.
Bialik
Okay.
and Ken Jennings. The two of them sort of flipped.
That guy has zero charisma.
Yeah, well,
And where do you say live from where?
the Alex Trebek studio.
Oh, okay.
On Sony Picture Studios,
Right.
Alex Trebek stage.
I like
Anyways,
that.
they've named it after him now, so
Yeah.
it's totally good to go. But yeah, I'm Mayim Bialik. You sort of go, I don't know. Is there something there? Is there not something there? Probably nothing there.
I grew up on Blossom, so
Probably something there.
yeah.
Yeah, but you strike me more as a 6 fan, really.
I do like 6.
Yeah, see, I knew it, man. I could you just feel that. And how about a little Joey? Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey,
Whoa.
Joey Lawrence.
Yep.
Oh, man, look at me.
Look at that guy.
Pulling it down. Pulling it down.
Not hosting Jeopardy. Joey
Not
Lawrence.
hosting Jeopardy. It's true, man. It's 100% true.
So anyway, maybe back to the draft and a little less about 6. For now, we can come back to 6 on another episode of the podcast. What's your interest level? You brought this up. Are you a sit and watch, pick 1 to 32 guy at this point? Because at this point, it's like a 4.5 hour show.
Yeah. Well, and like most things, right, I would watch it sort of on the PVR,
Right.
and I would sort of zoom through some stuff.
Fast forward.
And you go, it's not really interesting me.
Yeah. I don't care who Minnesota's drafting at 19.
Or wherever. First, third.
And in this case, for right now, Ottawa doesn't have a pick, which could change in a possible DeBrincat trade, but they don't have a pick in the first round. So does that hurt your interest level?
So I am probably, as you've suggested, I'm probably checking out by 10.
Yeah.
Right, in terms of if I haven't heard anything, and so because it will be by that time, it'll be 9:30, and man, you know what?
Jeopardy reruns.
Not reruns, just taped ones.
Right.
Yeah, so I will be interested to see, especially the top 5 this year. I'm really sort of interested in how that shakes out, and I think
that kind of mishmash of Leo Carlson and the Fresh Prince and Adam Fantilli, and like everybody knows Bedard is going 1, but there seems to be some competition.
Fresh Prince.
Will Smith is
okay. Yeah, sorry.
number 4.
Yes. Okay. I'm like, but yes, I gave that a little bit more thought. I would have come up with that.
Adam Fantilli, for the longest time, well regarded as the second best prospect in this draft, but Leo Carlson had a better showing at Worlds, and we seem to do a thing every year where we pick one guy who has one tournament better than the other guy and suddenly move him ahead, right? The Habs did that with Slavkovsky last year, and I'm not sure they would make that decision again, although Suzuki hasn't exactly run away with it yet either. I don't know, man. I'm sort of interested in how that's going to shake loose, but I don't really care about the teams in those positions, so fuck it, kind of is where I'm at.
He says.
Short of Bedard, right?
Slight
Bedard to
question
Chicago was
mark.
interesting, yeah.
Well, and Leo Carlson, he's going to be the next Matt Sundin.
Cool.
That's what they say, man.
Get him to Toronto.
Send him that way. We'll let him season in Quebec first, and then
Yes,
let him
yeah, of course. When it's time to pay him.
trade an aging Wendell Clark.
Nice, man. That was a good deal.
Oh, for sure. And then Clark ended up back in Toronto.
Came back anyway, a couple times.
It was really, in terms of looking at Bob's list,
Yeah.
it was
Bob McKenzie,
Yeah,
semi-retired insider.
yeah. But as he said, he wants to do some Leaf games. He likes the World Juniors, and he likes to draft.
Yep. So I don't know he's gone.
Well, this, yeah.
Shows up on the things I care about.
Well, and really, this
Trade
is
deadline.
the draft is his baby,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
In terms of he loves that. He's got his regular host of sort of pro scouts and that he deals with, and yeah, he's like 90% on these sort of things, right?
Yeah.
So to me, I was really interested in more where it's the Matvei Michkov thing, right?
Yeah.
In terms of
So for people not familiar, a Russian prospect who for a while was thought to be right in that same class with Bedard and Fantilli, but a Russian kid, and we don't like Russia very much right now. Kind of a crazy weekend in Russia. Maybe another day we'll get to that, but has also signed a contract in Russia for, is it at least 3 more years?
3 more years.
So you're not getting that guy anytime soon by the sounds of it. And so that will cool some teams on, is he a second or third overall, talent-wise pick? He might be, but he may fall a lot further than that knowing that you're not getting him.
Well, and if you are a team, and I would put Columbus or Montreal, really.
Yeah.
I know some Montreal fans think they're closer than they are.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Unfortunate. Yeah.
But yeah, if you got a guy 3 years, and if you can make that even close,
Yeah, if we're going to suck for 3 years anyway, we can wait.
well, and you drop in a Kaprizov type of player.
Yeah.
And worth noting, I think in that Dallas U18, that had Bedard and Michkov in it. Michkov was the MVP of that tournament, despite not playing in the gold medal game.
Tons of talent on that kid.
So that is the kind of talent that is out of sight, out of mind right now. But that is really, the Bedard thing is a complete and total sort of, it's over, right? Like it's so we don't need to worry about that. And whether it's Carlson second, Fantilli second, and I think it's probably a foregone conclusion too that Fantilli's going too. But yeah, where the rest of the guys shake out, it's really, to me, interesting to see who is going to be the team with the chutzpah to sort of step up and take a run at Michkov. That, to me, is where the draft sort of...
Would you, like if you're GM at number 4 or whatever, and he's fallen to you, would you take a player with 85% of Michkov's talent and you get him this September, or are you willing to wait?
Well, it depends who I am.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Right?
Am I rebuilding? I got a few years where we're going to suck anyway, so who cares? Or do I need help right now? I think this was just a bad year for us, and we're ready to turn the corner.
Seeing Columbus is picking second, third. They're super high.
Third. And they think they're good. They thought they were good last year when they signed Johnny Gaudreau, right? And they thought they were going to take a run to the playoffs. I don't think they're third worst in the league but I don't think they're playoff good either.
Well, they don't even really know if it's going to be Merzlikins, who's going to be the goaltender there. Is Korpisalo going to come back? What are they going to do in net? But they have gone out. They've made some. They signed Babcock.
Yeah,
they're bringing in Provorov. They've
good culture there.
And exactly. I'm trying to think of who the other defenseman they brought in. Right, they had Gaudreau. They have some young players coming. Like, to me.
But if Boone Jenner is still in the running to be your number 1 center, it's not going to be good. Like, I know they're counting on Kent Johnston and they got some pieces, but I just don't think they're ready to take that step. So maybe they would be a team that thinks they could wait for Michkov. Right?
And this is what I'm saying is, to me, that is, I want the best talent. If they're not, like Columbus, no matter how good they are or they think they are not cup contending right now.
Right.
Should they be able to make a little more noise?
And if you're in a market like Columbus, you don't get, like, if you think Michkov might be right there with Bedard, you don't get that guy to sign with you as a free agent. Like, you have to draft and develop that guy. And if it means
Johnny Gaudreau, I would have said that.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Fair enough, man. It's a good point. But it's hard to get people to come to Columbus voluntarily.
Yep.
So if he were to fall in your lap and you just have to bite it for a couple years and wait, might be worth it for an organization like that.
Yeah, and so that is, and I would say that looks closer to Montreal's window.
Yeah.
In 3 years, if they are looking to be, and if you have a guy who can come out of, I think he's in St. Petersburg, I think that's where he is.
I'm not sure.
If you can have a guy come out of there and be essentially a 21-year-old playing against men, doing all those things over there, a finished product, man, why would you not? Because Montreal may not make the playoffs for till then.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of, you look at the division, you look at Detroit, Buffalo, and Ottawa in front of you. I don't think they're leaping over any of those teams.
No.
So it really is, bring in what may be the second best talent in this draft. Maybe crazily right there with Bedard.
Could be.
Right? So we'll wait and we'll see. But as youngsters, U18 guys, and they were 16-year-olds, I believe, in that tournament.
And the other question mark with him is that we have hardly seen him, right? Russia's been banned from most of these international tournaments. So unless you're a big KHL fan, you don't really know what he's doing and how he stacks up against his age group. So.
Well, and you've seen Bedard do crazy things in his like 21 points in 7 WHL playoff games this year. And then whatever he racked up at the World Juniors, you're seeing all that. But the flip side is, the level of play in the KHL is a good level.
Sure.
Right? And so, dare I say, better than the WHL.
Could be, man.
And so you are talking about, he's over there doing his thing against men right up until, and he will do for another 3 years. I think if I'm anybody outside of Chicago, I'm considering it.
Yeah.
I'm really considering Michkov. Like, to me, that is, when you have that kind of talent, you can't say no. I know Mickey's out there listening going, you never take a Russian. Doesn't matter. But Mickey's not
running the show.
He's not running the show.
That's right.
And there's a reason why.
At least not this one.
Yeah, and there's a reason
He's
why.
running a show.
Yeah. Yes. And there's a reason why he's not,
That's right. Before we move off the draft, you were looking back at the the legendary 03 draft. We actually talked, I don't know, maybe a year or so ago, who'd be the last man standing. I think at the time I went with Ryan Suter, but he suddenly fell off pretty hard here towards the end of this season. Zach Parisi's sort of said, yeah, if it's the Islanders, I'll probably keep playing. If they're not interested, I'm probably done. There's a couple other names still kicking around from it, but
hey, there were 4 guys in that draft. So to me, when you look at it, and they talk about legendary and the number of guys at the top, 16 guys out of that draft, 16 have played over 1,000 games from that draft.
yeah.
They have, I believe it's 8 400-goal scorers, 6 400-goal scorers, 8 NHL captains. Like, it's
Is that the Jordan Stahl draft? Was
Eric
he in that
Stahl.
one? Okay, yeah.
Eric Stahl was in
Who did
that.
Pittsburgh take in 03? Is that Malkin?
No,
That was a little later?
no. So this is the thing. As legendary a draft as that is,
Yeah.
are you disappointed with the first overall pick?
Marc-Andre Fleury?
Marc-Andre Fleury.
No, he's probably a Hall of Famer, right?
For sure he
cups,
is. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No. He's a Hall of Famer. I would agree with you. Remember we had this thing where you said, I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And then we sort of ran through all the...
You're like, oh, yeah, he's probably a Hall of Famer.
Probably Hall of Famer. But just in terms of all the other guys that have come out of that, and you're like, I guess it's
Sure.
to be disappointed in it is probably a bit strong.
Yeah.
But if I was to ask you, Matt, to give me, there's 4 guys
You're going to ask me today?
still, yeah, that's okay. The brain is well lubricated now, man.
all right.
And I've cracked open from Bose, their hazy IPA.
I pay.
Chinese IPA. Their hazy IPA. It says juicy as fuck.
Really?
Well, it says juicy AF.
Oh, okay.
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Juicy as
I
frick.
understand. I was taken aback that they'd be ballsy enough to put that right on the label, juicy as fuck, instead of...
Because Ice Cube, he's crazy as fuck.
It's true, man, he is.
Yeah. So this is the Ice Cube of
beers?
IPAs.
Okay.
If I was to ask you 4 guys drafted with the 200th pick or beyond,
Oh, my God.
still playing in the NHL today out of that 03 draft after 200. And I hope you can get them all because I can only off the top of my head remember 3.
That's the kind of show we're doing today, folks. So I don't know, really old fucking guys.
Well, one of them is going to be the guy who's probably going to play the longest in that draft.
Ryan Suter was a first rounder, wasn't he?
Yep.
Okay.
But so not him.
Not him.
But may have played on the same
Mark
team with him this year.
Giordano went undrafted. I'm just thinking of really old.
Guys who played with Ryan Suter this year.
Joe Pavelski.
Joe Pavelski.
Okay.
Good one, Matt. I
Thank
think
you.
he's going to be the guy who's probably going to outlive
It sure looks like it.
him and Corey Perry. I don't know, man. It seems like those
Yeah,
guys are just
okay.
going to keep
Also a
rolling
first
around
rounder.
forever.
I honestly.
The only two I can remember, both goalies.
Okay.
Doom, 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 doom.
Had we drafted Tuukka Rask in Toronto yet? Just to trade to Boston.
He was a
05 maybe
he was a
or
first
something.
or a second.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. I don't have it.
One of them is a former Ottawa Senator.
Brian Elliott,
Brian Elliott.
No way.
Second last guy taken in the draft.
as he would be this year.
Yeah. And so the other guy, man, I don't even know where he is now. He did play this year. He is Yarrow Halak,
Okay.
also in the 200s in that draft. There's some other guy, but he's still playing, whoever the guy is. So to me,
Tip of the cap to you, sir.
it is one of those things where you're like, man, oh man, it is killer. Like, and they talk about this draft being so deep, right? They talk about it.
Yeah.
The 1979 draft, that sort of 03 draft, that 2015 draft, 2020 was pretty good, right? In terms of the very top end of it.
Yeah, but that's not depth.
No, but just in terms of, the people come out of all kinds of drafts. Mark Stone, captain of Your Vegas Golden Knights.
Stanley Cup champion.
6th round pick.
Yep.
That's incredible, man.
Proudest day he ever had. Trading him away.
Yeah. Well, you haven't seen fucking Igor Sokolov yet, man. You just buckle up.
Okay. That's going to be great. Can't wait for that.
Anyways, just in terms of like when you look at and the guys who have won, Perry with a Hart and a Rocket, and you have Burns with a Norris, and just in terms of the guys who've won things out of that,
Yeah.
it's just an incredible, incredible draft.
Well, you look at half of the 2010 Canadian Olympic team came from that 03 draft, right?
Okay.
It is Eric Stahl. It is Shea Weber.
I think they said there was 16 players between the U.S. team and
I
the
bet.
Canadian
Yeah.
team
Pavelski was on the U.S.
in that
team at the time.
2010 gold medal game.
Yeah.
Just chock
Well, and
full.
so again, it's that 03 draft, it's that 05 Grand Forks Lockout World Juniors, and then that 2010, Olympic. You can watch the progression pretty clearly for. Patrice Bergeron was in that draft.
Patrice Bergeron.
Yes.
They said with his 42 Norris trophies.
Yeah,
And
which would be weird for a center to win the Norris Trophy.
what are we fucking splitting hairs for? Here, man? Yeah, his Selkies, and then the ones he didn't win, he was the runner-up in
Yeah.
like 5. So it's
Basically every year, it is the Patrice Bergeron Award.
it's crazy. But
You think
it
he's
just
coming back?
what's that?
You think he's coming back, Bergeron?
I don't think he's coming back.
Okay.
Not I don't think he's playing anywhere other than Boston, and I don't think they can pay him.
Okay.
So I'm saying he's hanging it up. That's it.
Kind of hope so.
See, well, or
My
maybe
fucking
maybe
nightmare.
he'd come back and play for
For free in the playoffs.
Le Bleu
against
Blanc et
Toronto.
Rouge.
Wouldn't that be just super? At
Yeah.
least I wouldn't be worried about him there.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to do much, but to twirl around in his dad's memory.
Love a good
he just
twirl,
loved it.
man.
Yeah,
Love a good twirl.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Like there's one skate up. I can think of the legs up as you sort of go from side to side. Right. You just sort of doing that thing.
As you do in Montreal.
Yeah.
Anything else on the 03 draft before
No.
I do take you back to this Gary Bettman presser?
Yeah. Nope. I'm good, and I'm salivating at the opportunity to.
This was the biggest piece of news to come out of that press conference at the Board of Governors meeting. Elliot Friedman reported that next year they will not do any different pregame jerseys, warm-up jerseys. So this obviously in response to the couple of guys who didn't want to wear the Pride Night jerseys on their teams. And along with eliminating those, you have taken down Hockey Fights Cancer jerseys. You have taken down Military Night jerseys. You've taken down all the different heritages they do across the leagues. Some people do Asian Heritage Night, some people Indigenous, sometimes it's Black Lives Matter, whatever it might be. All of those gone, all because a couple of assholes said, I can't possibly wear a rainbow. It would make me so gay. And decided I'm not doing it. And instead of allowing those guys to point out how much they suck, Gary is going to cave completely, and we'll just have none of it now. He said all these leagues or all these teams are still allowed to have the night, the event, but there will be no pregame warm-up jerseys. And I know some of you are sitting there saying, who really cares? But these things, it's not just the awareness. It's not just the making these people feel welcome, which you can still do at the event. Half of those get signed, auctioned off, and the money goes to different shit. Like, there is a noticeable impact here, and it's so ridiculous that we have caved on this shit for the sake of 10 guys that you wouldn't want to sit down and have a fucking beer with anyway. Like, fuck them.
Or
Fuck them.
If they were at the table next to you, you'd fight them.
Probably, man. Yeah.
Yep. That's how it goes. Yeah. But that is the thing here is I like how they have camouflage, no pun intended, the removal of your Pride warm-up jersey by including these other ones. And you go, oh, okay.
Hockey Fights Cancer.
Yep.
We can't get...
No, can't do that.
Can't do it.
No, we don't want to see... Hey, I can skate around in that pink warm-up jersey.
Sure, the breast cancer jersey.
Yeah, that seems fine. But I can't be seen in the rainbow jersey.
Right.
So likewise, your camo jersey for your military appreciation night, that they've sort of masked it. So not only have you shown a real lack of
balls.
Yep. To stand up and say, yeah, we want to have the military appreciation night. We want to have the hockey fights cancer thing. We want to have the do it for Darren night here in Ottawa and wherever else it gets done, and probably in Chicago now, I'm sure, and Montreal. But yeah, we're gonna cancel it all. We're gonna throw the baby out with the bathwater, if you will, for a nice dated reference. Because we don't want to stand up and be strong with our messaging. It's a sad.
Honestly, it's pretty pathetic.
It's very pathetic, and it's so weak in terms of the stance. And you have an opportunity here to send a message. This is something we believe in. That the inclusivity means really inclusive.
Yeah.
Not we're going to allow a couple of outliers, the tail to wag the dog.
Yeah, there's no, you can have the player wear the hat in the pregame interview or a T-shirt that you're selling at the arena. There is no substitute for seeing your favorite player skating around in the warm-up with that symbol on, right? It's not a symbol that, there's no logo for Pride Night. The symbol is the rainbow color scheme that they've used or whatever. There's no substitute for that. And even on a very cynical level, like I referenced earlier, just the money, right, that you raise using those jerseys, and it's gone. You can still sell them, but who's going to buy them if you're, I want to buy the one because I saw Crosby wear it, or because I saw Matthews wear it, or Stützle, or whoever, right? You get somebody to buy that because they're a collector or whatever. If you don't actually see the players ever wear it, it's not going to sell anywhere near the same. So all these causes get hurt. And it's just, and the comparison was always, I never see any of these guys stand up for, being against military appreciation night or whatever. They'd never touch that. Fuck, they did. They threw it out with, to not have to deal with this problem anymore because a couple guys across the league weren't willing to participate. Like I keep coming back to it because it seems so ridiculous to me. Hockey fights cancer is too controversial of a stance for the National Hockey League now. We had to get rid of that one to soothe the egos of these other fuckers. Man, it's brutal.
Yeah, and so you want to tear it back to, the whole idea of jerseys sold or jerseys auctioned or whatever else. And it's such
That's a part of it.
I know, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying, to me, if we strip it right down to the most basic, you talk about the whole idea, and it doesn't matter whether it's your ethnicity or your gender, whatever it is, in order to be, I need to see.
Yep.
Right. And so, man, as a kid, I was an avid card collector.
Right.
And you got to know you're going to have that jersey show up in a card set. You're like, hey man, I have the Ivan Provorov Pride jersey.
No, you don't.
Oh no, I don't. Right, but you have whatever it is, right?
Yes.
It's the Tim Stützle. I have the Stützle Pride jersey card.
Yeah.
And as a young person who is conflicted in your feelings already, right? What you get from that to see that is to see it, is to believe it, right? This can happen, right?
Yeah.
It is and the feeling you would get from that as a young person is no, you've missed that opportunity now.
Yep.
And it's such an easy opportunity to say, yeah, man, when we say it's for everybody, it really is for everybody.
Yeah.
And
do not ever present that phrase to me again. Hockey is for everybody. Fuck you. You just made a pretty clear stance that it is not. And you don't want to argue with. I'm sure there are more guys in the locker rooms who don't like wearing them than just the ones we've heard about over the last year.
Of course there is.
But it's still the minority, right? And you've seen how many players have come out and said, this is a mistake. I'll still do whatever I can to support the community. Morgan Riley was interviewed last week. Guy shows up at Pride Parade every year. Says, whatever else, right up to the line of what they're going to allow me to do, I will do, right? And I don't know. The whole thing was just such
bullshit.
Yeah,
Number one bullshit.
And nothing surprising about it, right? You just sit there going, yeah, that was probably the most predictable thing the NHL could have done in response to this.
I was still surprised by it.
That
may say more about me.
Yeah. But you're right. You're right. They're couching this. We can't just ban Pride Night. We'll look like assholes. Maybe they won't notice if we throw in Military Night and Heritage Nights and this and that. We noticed. We're
I
not
still
as
see that
dumb.
super bright pride jersey in there. You can't hide it with all those other. Although, like I said, the DIFD and
Yeah.
which is a nice purple, and the breast cancer with the pink jersey.
Sure.
I get it, but I still see it.
Yep.
I still see it, and there was no way you were going to be able. It was so transparent.
Yes. So we're taking down all these other groups with
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Because again, all those other things, not just the pride jersey, all those nights also have the auctioning off. It's
Of course, the awareness, the financial
everything
components,
that
everything
comes with it.
Yep.
And so I was surprised when I heard it this week, and I thought, it's so shallow.
I wish I'd been surprised.
Okay.
It was,
Yeah. All right. Well,
you're surprised to see them actually do it, I guess, but not
Right, and that's what
not
it was.
surprised in the sense that if the path of least resistance was to cave to the worst amongst us, then yes, that's what Gary was going to do.
But I have a big open heart, Matt.
Okay, well,
And you are.
the NHL has left me with a big open wound, and so
You have a small black
yeah,
stone
it's true, man.
that shrunk 2 sizes on
Yeah,
your
you hardly even notice it in that measuring device the Grinch
40th
uses.
birthday. Oh my God. Although everybody showing up to show their love for Matt had to.
It did grow a little.
It grew a little today.
Yes,
Grew a little. It's nice.
okay. It was the only thing.
Yes.
I know we got only a couple of minutes left. Did you want to touch on the Jays? Any thoughts on what's gone on with them as we sit here now? Hey Siri, what was the score in the Blue Jays game?
The Blue Jays soundly defeated the Athletics by a score of 12-1.
Hey, all right. So the Blue Jays have beaten the Oakland A's 12-1.
Lowly.
Yeah, taken 2 or 3 from them. Friday night, you're sitting there going, I can't believe we're
You
doing
fuckers
this.
have just frizzled away like a sweep.
Yeah.
Right here. You knew it happened. It was just like bang.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought that fart was going to be dry.
I've shit my pants.
It's or at least I've touched cloth, and I'm not happy about any of that. That's you, Romano. I'm talking about you, buddy. A couple of real bonuses here, right? Vladdy, I don't know about today because it was
You cashed in a run in the first inning.
it was 4-zip last I'd seen, right? But he'd hit a homer, and a no doubter, right? For a guy who went 153 at bats between homers at home.
Yeah.
He put one out on Friday night, and then another one on another 2-run shot. So that, to me, if nothing else, is the thing you look to at this point. And I said to you when I rolled into your fete on Saturday, I'm like, fuck, man, my expectations have been sufficiently
beating.
lowered,
Yeah.
right? And I'm like, this team looks like, you can't take advantage of, honestly. We have, through the last, decade, we have Donaldson, we have Simeon, we have Chapman, we have Bassett. These are all fucking guys who could have been all-star or were all-stars
Yeah.
for Oakland. They have part of our shittiest portion of our minor league playing for them, and we still couldn't sweep them.
Right.
19 wins, man. They were like fucking 19-53 coming in here, and you're like,
And had to have it after that.
you gotta have it.
After that terrible road trip, you needed to pound these guys. And so, you pounded them today. And it sounds unrealistic, right? You don't get to sweep everybody. You're not trying to sweep everybody. You're trying to sweep fucking Oakland because
Sweep
they are
the sweepables.
They are exactly. They are horrible.
Well, and when you look at it, and it's funny because I've heard it mentioned on the broadcast a couple times. You go, "Oh, the Jays there's a tough one coming up." And you're like, everybody seems to be fucking tough because
You're not that good right now.
we're just not that good,
Right.
And that was not how this season was supposed to shake out, right? I know it's unrealistic, but I thought we would be closer to where Tampa is.
Yeah.
In terms of being dominant and maybe leading this division, instead of I don't know if they're fucking 7 games over 500, which is not bad.
No. But it's not what you were promised this year. No.
But it still feels like scuffling, and you're still working on this 4-man rotation.
You're going to have to hit that a couple more times at least to get to the All-Star break.
And Bassett is obviously
sort of struggling.
Yeah, short of after his child was born and he put up a couple of fucking stellar
Yes.
outings. his last 2 or 3 have been rough.
I think I saw on Twitter today that he said he's done calling his own game. He's going to try going back the other way, let the catcher do it. We'll see how that's going to look when you got 7 or 8 pitches under your hat. Like, I sort of understood why he was doing it. I didn't love it at the beginning of the season, but then he got off to such a good start that you're like, well, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah,
So,
we had that rough first.
yeah, the first outing wasn't great.
And then he was just lights out for about 8 or 9 starts. And so, I don't know, man. Pop is on the way back up, and you look at, I don't know what's going to happen between now and the All-Star break, and what happens with Ryu, what happens with Manoah, what happens in terms of all these things.
So I ran a poll as promised last week, Ryu versus Manoah, after you had floated that question, who returns first?
Yes. Great question, Matt.
About 59% of people said, yeah, Manoah will be back first. So I'm on the low side of that. I said Ryu. That was a day before Arden Zwelling began reporting that he'd had another outing. The next stop was going to be a minor league appearance, and if that went well, probably one more and then up. So, it looks less likely now than it did last week.
But I like the balls,
I'm married
Matt.
to it.
I like the balls.
Sticking with
it was good.
Yeah,
it was good. And we need the big guy.
Yeah, 100%.
We need him back in there.
Ryu if he's coming back with an extra mile an hour or two on his pretty mediocre fastball. But that's what sets up the rest of his stuff. Is we've seen over the couple of years he was in Toronto at 92, pretty effective. At 90, 91, it's problematic.
So 93, 94?
That'd be great, man.
And if you look at it and you went, I'm taking Kikuchi out of that lineup all day. His last two, maybe 3 starts.
Pretty good again today.
It was he was awesome. Like I said, through 4, he was 1 over the minimum.
Yeah.
So, and this is coming off of what everybody would clearly state to be his best start as a Blue Jay, the last outing. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, I don't know what you do if you have that, but it does allow you the if you can limp into, and it's funny because they were saying Kikuchi coming out of the Japanese league, 6-man rotation, pitching every sort of 7th day, and how he's always better with the extra rest, and how actually in his last 2 starts with the 1 day shorter rest, pretty good, man.
Yeah,
lights out actually. True. So and striking guys out, like, to me, just working more with the fastball, working off of that as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's interesting. And I'm talking myself back into it. See how it works here? Vladdy's back up and running, and Bichette's Bichette.
Yeah. They're okay. We talked, Stoughton was on the show. That was episode 1132, if you guys want to check that out.
Stupid fan. Me, not him.
Okay. talkinaudio.com or wherever you're hearing us right now. And he said they're not that far off the pace. If you were to win 4 in a row next week, changes everything, right? And you're right back. Yeah, the division's gone, and it's about adjusted expectations.
It's a wild card spot.
The division's gone. You're looking at a wild card spot, and if you can wrap your head around that and assume that they're gonna, a lot of the things that are going wrong right now seem like anomalies, right? The underlying numbers would suggest you keep doing what you're doing, it's gonna be okay, right? And so if that's the case, you still find yourself in a wild card spot. Yeah, you would have preferred the division, but that was always going to be tough. Not that you weren't in it or it was a long shot. Like the Jays
tough
were
by May 1st.
Right. The Jays, though, in the offseason, were a reasonable prediction to win the division. But you have to get past that. It's gone. And so, if you can kind of just accept that the wild card is still very much in play and, you have a good second half that looks more like what we all expected to see, then they'll be fine.
Well, and you look going into Friday night, and I haven't looked at it again since, going into Friday night between the Yankees, Astros, Angels, and Jays, I think that's it. Mm-hmm. Everybody was within a game of each other.
Yeah, and I expect the Angels will fall off. I also expect the Astros will be better. So just sort of see how this.
Do you expect the Orioles to stay? Because the Orioles were 5 up on that pack, right? And the Red Sox were somewhere just behind.
I think the Orioles are ahead of what we all expected their schedule to be, but I'm not sure 100%. They're this good yet.
Right.
Can you be 6 games better than them the rest of the way? It's a big ask.
Certainly it is, especially when you have sucked ass against them head to head.
It's true, man. Yeah, the division record is just brutal.
Yeah. So when you look at, they got between now and they got the Giants, who sucked early.
Yeah.
But have been like 25-10 in their last 35, so that's not great.
Come on in.
But you do have the Red Sox. you do have the Tigers and you do have the White Sox between now and those are the 4 series between now and the All-Star game.
Got to make some hay here.
You do indeed. So to me, you need to be playing 700 ball in those.
Yeah, and the other thing you have to keep in mind is like you have to be in a good. You don't have that much runway. You have to be in a good spot by mid-September because your last 12 games are all Yankees and Rays. So you don't want your season to come down to that. You're just going to spend 2 weeks alternating between those two teams, and that's not going to be super easy. So you have to get it going through July and August.
It's not ideal, Matt.
It's
not ideal.
Not ideal circumstances as we walked into the studio today, but I think we've done all right, man. We've battled through and presented a wonderful
You're a gamer,
program.
Matt. You're a gamer. You're a 40-year-old fucking douche.
Okay. The first half of that sentence was a lot nicer than the second half, so...
But you're here, and look at you, man, and your voice sounds, you've worked a couple of the kinks out, you're good to go.
With that in mind, we will wind this one down. For Rob Christie, my name is Matt Robinson. We'll be back later in the week with something, and you'll find out when I do. That's it for today. We'll see ya.
See ya!
The hell was that?
Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Why are you so pissy?